guys, so we are here live at the Axon M launch event here. As you can kind of see, here is the warehouse, but here's a quick hands-on the device itself. So it's just announced the actual dual display Axon M foldable device here. So let me just quickly set this up here and we'll get some quick hands-on here, guys. So here's the device itself. So we've got that foldable dual display coming out here, as you can see. So you got two displays, one on each side here, so we can open this up. And they advertise this here during the event with several different modes for using the dual displays here. So we can actually go in here and hit that button there. And you'll see some different modes on the bottom here. So you've got a mirror mode, which will actually mirror out the display, so you can have the same thing showing on both sides. So for example, if you want to actually show a browser, or you want to do YouTube, and you want to share that amongst two people, you could do that. They also try to demo off a conferencing feature, so if you're a business user and you want to do a conference with someone, you can have them on either side of the phone. If you open up maybe a browser here, you can share that and tent it like this, and share that with the person on the other side. So a lot of potential here. You can probably show off presentations if you're a business user, show off videos on each side for your kids. So a lot of different ways to use the mirror mode here on the Axon M. And we go into here, we can check out some other modes here. You can see here, I believe this should be the single mode here, so this basically makes it one big display now. So if we went up and swipe down, and you can see your whole app drawer in one view here. And we come down, we go actually launch YouTube. And so you can see it's one big device. So this is the thing that I was kind of worried about, which you're gonna have the hinge down the middle while you're looking at it in full screen mode here. But honestly, I think if you're trying to show a YouTube or a video, for example, let's try to see if we can get it into a video. Because like I said before in the pre-launch, it's going to become basically one big square. It's not going to be ideal for watching YouTube videos. Let's see, maybe it actually will do a whole full screen. So there you go, it actually will do a whole full screen. So that's not, maybe not. Okay, so no, it won't, but so that's what I'm talking about. Because you have almost a 1-to-1 aspect ratio, watching video may not be the best use case here for this full screen, because you do have this hinge coming down the middle. But what we could probably do is something like, I think what this is going to be better for are things like browsers. So let me go launch a browser here. So looking at things even in a browser or documents, that's probably a better use case for something like this. Although again, like you can see, the hinge down the middle is going to get in the way of your viewing content, and it cuts off some of the text there. So that is a concern, and it just depends on how you kind of feel about that, I guess. But you can go with your AV mode here. And so this is where you can use two full screen apps at the same time. So this is probably going to be the most common use case for people. So maybe you want to check out your email on one side, and you want to go and check out your calendar on the other side. You can do that all at the same time. So you can check your appointments, reply to emails. You can go back to the home screen on each side. Maybe you want to do something like YouTube on one side and watch a full screen video there, while you go ahead and do something like browsing the web. So that's pretty cool there. You can watch a whole full screen video while you do other things on this side. You can browse the web, check your Twitter, do all your social media, and do all that kind of stuff there. So dual screen mode, I think, is what most people are probably want to use this in. And holding it like this and taking a look like this, it kind of reminds me of a Nintendo DS. So I think if you're holding this out in public, that's what people are probably going to think you have, like some kind of a portable game console. But honestly, on first feel, guys, this kind of takes me back to more of a retro kind of device, like back in the day when you had some of the Sidekick or something where you could just flip out some of these devices. So I think I'm going to enjoy this. I think I'm probably at least flipping it out, that old school feel. So just holding it here, just being able to flip something out. You don't get to see that anymore. Most phones nowadays are just one big slab. So this is kind of cool. Kind of takes me back to some of the old school devices and kind of that retro kind of feel on it. Some of the other concerns that I had was on a dual screen device is that basically got a display on each side, obviously. And so normally holding the phone, your palm is going to be resting on the other side of the display. And I wasn't really sure how I'd feel about that. And you can kind of feel it here and how it rests on your palm. So it's flat, you are touching the display. It's gonna probably pick up a lot of fingerprints on that side, so that's probably gonna be a concern. As you can see here, here is the hinge on the right-hand side. On the bottom, if I can get that in the shot, you can see you got your speaker grill, USB Type-C port, and on the left side is where you got all your buttons. So you got your volume rocker, power button, that doubles as a fingerprint scanner, so kind of like Sony style fingerprint scanner there, as well as, I believe this is your camera button. So if you long press that, I think this is a programmable button actually. Right now it's programmed out to DirecTV, but I believe you can program this side button to other things. Yeah, so I just got confirmation. You can definitely program out that button to launch quick launch other apps, so that's pretty cool there. Maybe you want to launch the camera or something else, that would be pretty cool to do there. And the other thing about this device is because you got screen on each side, you're only going to have one camera. So you've got that camera on the front here, and I think this is probably going to be one of the more confusing things about the device. So launching out the camera, as you can see here, we'll click through all the notices. And there is the camera actually. So see, even I'm getting confused trying to figure this out for the first time. So if you come in here and it's folded up, we'll launch the camera. So that's the front facing camera. Obviously, if I go ahead and I hit flip, it's going to flip you around to the other side. So that's how you use it as a rear camera now. And of course, if I go back into selfie mode, it's going to ask me to flip it around, and there you go, back into selfie mode there. So if I try to flip open the screen, I'm not really sure what that's going to happen in camera mode, maybe nothing. So, but there you go. That's how you kind of navigate around the cameras for front and rear with a single facing camera there. And just general impressions about the hardware and the software. So let's take a look at some of the software. So as you can see, it looks pretty much like stock Android. So ZTE's always had a very light skin on top of Android, and it's always been very close to stock. This looks a lot closer to stock, so they've taken it even further to stock. So for those of you who really like stock Android, I think you're gonna like this device. You can see here all the navigation buttons look very stock. Even the home screen and the photo stylings are all stock Android. You can even flip it down here and go into settings. Very much stock here. Notification shade is all stock. And we can even scroll down to the bottom. It's running Android 7.1.2. And October security patch.
I think I have to get used to all this.
And we can kind of scroll through some of the settings here. So we can see it does have NFC on board. So you are going to have NFC. And so what are some of the specs on this? Snapdragon 821.
Yes, it's a 820 Snapdragon processor.
4 gigs of RAM.
4 gigs of RAM and 64 gig of RAM. Yes, you were right earlier with the 20 megapixel camera, both rear.
Snapdragon 820 or 821?
I'd have to get it.
No problem, it's okay. I'm pretty sure it's a Snapdragon 821, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage. So that's pretty good there. I think for most people are going to have concerns over the processor maybe. It's not going to be as efficient as the flagship processors this year, like the 835. So we'll have to see how the 821 performs in this. I believe it's something around a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. So I don't think we got a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. But I can try to confirm that. And that's going to be my other concern about this is how we're doing on battery life with the dual displays. Dual 1080p displays on this. So hopefully battery won't be too well, but general impressions on the hardware is that it is very nice. It's very solid. You can see here it's made of metal, I believe. It's a very solid piece of device here. It has a nice feel to it, some good heft. The second display, as you can see here, is fairly thin, so it doesn't add a whole lot of extra bulk to it, but it is just one big square. And for the people who kind of like that, you know, taking it back to some of the very squarish designs, you may like that. I do like the side fingerprint scanner. I'm a left-hander, so this is gonna be good for me. If you're right-hander, this is how you're gonna hold it. Fingerprint scanner's gonna be on the left. Maybe that might be a problem for you. But again, here's the hinge. And this thing just screams like it needs a stylus. So that would be pretty awesome if ZTE could start doing something like a stylus in the device going forward. You know, if you look at it from here, you feel like you should be able to pull out a stylus and use that with the big dual screen display there. So try to take a look at some of the comments and see what some of you guys are saying. Yeah, that's T Frank back there in the video, in the picture. Say hi. So just going back through some of your comments. How's it going, Donovan? Do we know 5.5-inch displays on both sides?
It is 5.2
5.2 on each side.
on each side.
Do you know the battery capacity by chance?
3180.
3180. So,
And if you were to use this at an extended mode like this, where you're looking at the one screen, it actually becomes a 6.75-inch screen.
okay. So two 5.2-inch screens in full screen mode. That's going to be a 6.75-inch screen. It's a 3180 milliamp hour battery. So I was really hoping for at least 4,000, but it's 3180. We'll have to see how that plays out. It is 1080p displays.
1080.
Yeah, 1080p. So I'm not going to get two dual 2K displays, and for probably a good reason. It'll probably be a pretty big hit to your battery life. First impressions on the display is a fairly well lit area, so the display actually looks pretty nice in this. LCD displays, right?
Yeah, more of that technical spec coming in here.
Okay. I'm pretty sure they're LCD displays, but they look pretty nice going in person here. We can take it off of auto bright to give you a sense of the brightness. So there is that. It is fairly crisp, fairly clear, if you can see that. I believe there will be official cases, Donovan, for this.
So since the camera is 20 megapixels,
Keith, it's going to be hard to say if this can be a daily driver or not. This is my first hands-on with this. I know for me, I'm going to try to make it my daily driver. I'm definitely going to get one for myself and try it out, because I think for something like this, like I was saying before in the pre-event, it's going to be something that you're going to have to get your hands on and decide for yourself if it's going to be for you. It's definitely something different, and like I was saying before, now that I got hands-on time with it, seeing the different modes, it definitely is going to make me rethink how I use my smartphone. So it's no longer just a slab that you pick up and you know how to use and it gets boring after a while. This definitely has several different use cases of how you could see using the two displays, and just trying to get used to using that for different situations in my day-to-day. I think that's going to be fun. I think if you're a tech enthusiast and you want to try different things, you want innovation in the market, I think this is something that's probably worth a try. Just I think for the sheer fun of playing with something new, quite honestly, and seeing how it might fit into your life or not. You know, I don't think it's going to be for everybody, quite honestly. And like I was showing off before, the bigger problems that I see here are when you go into something like the single display mode. So when I put it into extend one big display, if we're going to try to view apps again, you know, you got that big hinge down the middle. So that's probably going to bother some people, I'm sure. But I think, like I said, the most common use case is going to be in this AB mode, where you've got full screen apps on each side. Both screens are touchscreen, yes. I don't think they're going to let me take this home, George. But that would be cool. And I must say, based on some of the leaks and everything else, I wasn't sure how the actual hardware would look or how refined it would be. And I gotta say, taking a look around the hardware, it is very nice. And it feels very solid, very well polished for a first-gen device, it feels. And here's the back. So if you're curious about what it looks like on the inside after you unfold it, you got kind of like this anodized aluminum feel to it. Axon M there. It's a very clean design, honestly. And like I said, the secondary display is very thin. Yeah, I think most people are going to use it in dual screen mode, and that's probably going to be the most common, where you can put one app on each side. I think that makes the most sense. But like I said, when you're in this mode here, that feels pretty cool. So being able to do something like YouTube on one side and being able to type away on the other side. So this might harken people back to some of the Sidekick days or something like that. And I think it's just different. I think it'll be an eye catcher. And this is the mode that I'll probably be most using this thing in. But like I said, I'll try it in other different modes. We'll see how it goes. But I think this will be the most common for people. And this is actually pretty cool looking at it like this. So again, guys, that's just kind of a quick first hands-on, maybe not so quick, but really just wanted to kind of give you first look at the device here and some of my initial impressions after handling it for the first time. We can do some size comparisons.
I think because it curves a little bit.
Let me see what I got here. So here's the Axon 7. And here's how that compares to the Axon 7. So about pretty close to the same height. It's a little narrower actually than the Axon. Of course it's going to be way thicker with the dual display there. We could also do something with the Pixel maybe. So here's a Pixel XL. Size comparison for you there. So it's definitely smaller than the Pixel XL. It's going to be narrower as well. And of course it's going to be thicker than all these devices. We also got the HTC U11. So for anyone who has the U11, there you go there. That's kind of how it's comparing to the U11 there. U11 is going to be taller and wider as well. So overall, I mean 5.2-inch screens, so it's going to be a fairly compact design. Of course, you're going to have the thicker bottom and top bezels. You know, 2017 people want less bezel, but given the type of device that this is, that's probably to be expected. Yeah, the second screen is really thin. So if you can see it here, it's very thin. Doesn't add a whole lot of extra bulk to the design. And there it is unfolded. Headphone jack up top. So for you, those of you who want headphone jacks, that is still here on the Axon M. So again, I'll be trying to move around the rest of the event, seeing what else I can pick up. Yeah, Art Dog definitely got the bezels. Like I was saying just earlier, you can see the top and the bottom. It's not going to give you that quote-unquote bezel-less design. The really focus here is all about the dual screens. And that's really the selling point of the phone.
And then the only other thing I'm
Yeah, it's only going to go 180 degrees, so you can only unhinge it flat like that. That's as far as that's going to go. It's not going to let you bring it farther up. That's the other thing I was hoping for too. If you could swing it kind of more up, then you can kind of have a different angle on it when looking at the two screens. But it's 180 degrees flat, and that's going to be it. That's as far as the hinge is going to go. Does the second screen feel solid? Yeah, the second screen definitely feels solid. So I'm not going to do a bend test obviously here. I'll leave that for other people. But you can see here, it flexes maybe a little, given how thin it is. But the back is very solid. It's kind of like anodized aluminum, so it has a very solid feel to it. The overall device, because it's made out of this kind of what feels like anodized aluminum, it feels very solid, very polished. And you can even see on the beveling on the edges, kind of those cut beveled edges there. So little touches like that actually make this thing look and feel like a very nice device. It actually reminds me more of like an iPhone 4. You know, when it had that metal rails on the side, the all square look to it. That's really what that reminds me of. But there's initial hands-on, guys. I'll be around the event some more. If you got any other questions or comments, let me know, and I'll try to see what else I can find here at the hands-on event. Live from New York City, Axon M launch event. Thanks for hanging in here and tuning in, guys.